Hello, I'm Matthew, and today we're going to be doing a custom build just from spare parts. It's probably equal to about 2010 uh, moderate computer. Normally I would be doing a live build with these, but I don't really have the equipment to start doing live builds yet. So for today, we're going to be doing just a build with me narrating what's going on as I build it. Hope you enjoy watching the build, and if you do enjoy this video, please give it a like. If you do enjoy watching builds, live builds, interesting reviews of tech products and discussions, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel. As I'm just starting out, each subscription and each like is very important to me. It means a lot. And if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. I'm definitely reading what everybody is saying to me in their different forms and making adjustments to make myself a better YouTuber. Here we have the desktop case that we're using. It's an old Lenovo ThinkCenter case, as you can see. On the front here, you can see it still has a DVD player inside it. We'll get to that later. It also has two USB ports, headphone and mic jacks. There's the eject for the DVD player. Inside you can see we have a system fan on the back, some airflow through the front. Inside we have the different panel cables for the I/O for the front. We have power cables, we have internal speaker, system fan power. Round back, you can just see how it's open. That's where the power supply goes. It's an I/O panel for the motherboard. I already have it put in before we started because I hate putting those things in. And down here is where all the expansion slots go. As you can see, there's one screw that holds it in. You'll see later when we put it in that holds all the cards in, which is the one screw. And this is the other side. It doesn't come open because it's bolted in. On the top here, very handy, is a little carrying handle. As you can see, if you want to pick it up, you just scoop it up in your hand here, pick it up. Very easy to carry that way. And here's the power button. Here we have the motherboard we're using. It's an old Lenovo motherboard with an already attached AMD A6 processor and its cooling and fan already attached. So you can see it has ports for PCI, PCI Express Mini, and PCI Express. It has 3 SATA inputs. Uses DDR3 RAM. We have the audio inputs, 2 USB 2s with an Ethernet jack, 2 USB 3s, a VGA input, serial input, HDMI, and a PS2 mouse and keyboard. This is our 1 stick, 4 gigs of DDR3 RAM. This is a 380 watt power supply. This is our hard drive. It's a SATA hard drive at 0.5 terabyte. And this is our video card, an EVGA GT640. Now, this video card is not a whole lot more powerful than the onboard graphics, but being able to offload some of that processing power should free up the processor for the computer. Okay, so we're going to dust off the case before we put everything together in the computer. Since they are used parts in a used case, I want to get everything dusted off.
make it as clean as possible before we put it together, because it's a lot easier to clean now than it will be later. Now, if there were big dust bunnies, I'd be taking this outside and spraying it down here with the air canister. But there isn't. So we're not actually going to start off with the air here. I'm going to go get a brush to start with brushing to clean. As you can see, I have a plastic bag down that's just to keep everything clean while it's on the floor. It's easier for me to work with it on the floor, especially when I'm trying to film it. So anyways, we're going to dust off especially the fans, like the processor fan, the fan in the back of the case. Those places gather dust really easily. Same with the filter holes. For airflow, those get dust stuck in them really easily. All the vents and everything, those are all good places for dust to get to, and of course gravity settles at the bottom, so dusting at the bottom's good place too. Once you have it all loosened up, spray it out, and that should get any of the dust that was in there out of the case. The same idea applies to the other components. Brushing it off, spraying it down, get it as clean as it can be without, putting in just so much trouble into it. Always gotta like spinning the fans and the noises it makes. The hard drive looks pretty darn clean, but doesn't hurt to brush it down anyways.
Give it a little spray down.
The motherboard looks decent. Must not have been used too much. And finally, we have the power supply. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of dust in this. Has to be expected. It's where most of the electricity is, and can't get inside there too well to dust it off. And that's going to do it for cleaning things off.
This case still has the motherboard screws in here. I guess it's built into the case. There's a couple in here, and there's a couple that are just designed into the metal here. Nice little cushion for it in a few spots. So, didn't have to buy any of the kind of nuts that you have to put in there sometimes. The motherboard, it's easy to see which way it goes because input lines up with the input output panel here. Make sure all the cords are out of the way, of course. So you get in there. You can also see the holes line up. This board, being a mass manufactured board, has all these copper holes here that tell you where exactly you need to line it up with your case and where you need to put the screws in to get it secured. So we start by setting that in there. Get the screws. We'll put them in there so that they're secure, but not so drilled into there that it would cause problems, possibly cracking the board if it were to try and move, or just because it's so squeezed in there. Secret here is that you're just holding the board down. There's no special secret to what screws need to be where. You just want to make the board held in place. You might use less or more depending on what you got. I'm going to use what's suggested in here because I can, and I want to do a good job. One is not lined up completely correctly, I think. Let's get that one and come back. There we go. My screwdriver is kind of small, so it will only screw in so much before it loses grip on it. And it kind of helps me make sure that I'm not screwing it in too tight. It is kind of hard to reach some of these spots because of the case. Like underneath the lip there, the screwdriver doesn't completely fit. Maybe it'd be helpful to have a small handled screwdriver. I don't have one right now. However, having these magnetic screwdrivers, like I do, helps out a lot without having to smash my fingers in there trying to make it fit. And have it hold on. Well, I mean, if it worked better. This time it stayed in. Okay, so these ones under here are a bit annoying. You can see they're under this thing. My screwdriver has to come in at an angle to try and get to it. This one worked though. That's good. And we got one more here before it's completely secured. Try and get it started with my fingers, threaded with my fingers. I'd like to anyways, but man, it's having a tough time. Well, as I told you, you don't necessarily need all these screws, and I'm not going to use them. Use this one because it's not one to go in. It's not lined up or the thread on the screw's wrong, but that's definitely enough to secure it. Next, just because it's easy to get to right now, let's put in the RAM. A lot of times you have to line them up in pairs, certain ones. I only have one stick, so it probably doesn't matter exactly where it goes, but if I had to guess, this is where it goes, where stick number 1 is supposed to go. And stick number 2 would be in the blue parallel to it. We'll find out if that's not working. For some reason, it'll beep at us. Now, I told you before about the disk drive. It's in here. I tried to take this out earlier. It's stuck. It only goes back so far and it gets stuck. If I really wanted to get that out, I'd have to take out some of this metal that's bolted in there, and I really don't feel like it. But we need a CD drive for it, and it's in here, so we're going to use it, of course. Let's see. Next, I would put in the power supply. Well, it also can still fit. Well, you know what? Let's do some of the input-output while we can. Luckily for this case, it's lined up. As you can see, it's orange. And down here in the case, I don't know if you can see that, but it's also orange. Fits perfectly. Some of the older cases, older motherboards, aren't as well labeled. They just give you individual little pins, not a whole group of them. But on the right side, the board's labeled well as to where everything goes. Yet another set of input-output. The yellow was a USB 2. I'm not exactly sure what the brown was, but it seems to go there. And we have a black wire here that looks like the front input-output I/O panel. See if I can maneuver my fingers well enough to get to it. Nope, I missed. There we go. All pinned up, and we have the internal speaker here. Let's see where that speaker is supposed to plug in at. Looks like it goes up here. It's 2 pins, plus it's got the slot that holds in the back side. Boom. Looks good. We can move some of these cables to be out of the way. This little plastic organizer here is very nice for that purpose. Good. Let's see, I'm not forgetting anything. No, all looks pretty good. Okay, so while we still got some of the stuff out of the way, let's put in the hard drive. Hard drive here fits in, slots in like this. Okay, so it does line up like this. It's these holes on the bottom that are going to be screwed in. So let's let it sit there for a second while I get the screws for it. Just get it finger threaded so that it'll hold it up. Then I'll tighten it in a second here. Be as tight as you want it, really, just to hold it up against the side there. It doesn't have to be too tight because it's not really going to be jostled too much. Do we want to do SATA cables yet? Let's put in our graphics card, as we see right here. You can kind of tell based on how it's designed where it's going to fit in. It goes into this PCIe slot here. Let's see. Hope that thing's in the way. I forgot we got to unscrew this. As you can see, it flips over, opens this up. Makes it easier to fit all this in here. Pushes in. We don't need to screw this in, we just need to flip this back up and screw it in. If we had more cards to go in there, we would still just need the one screw to secure it all. This does not have any power cables or anything that needs to hook into the board or to the power supply. It's good to go. The last component that we're putting in here is the power supply. It's just going to drop in. There we go. Now the screw holes line up. Okay, well, just like the motherboard, it just needs to be secure enough. And 3 screws is definitely going to secure it enough, so we're going to leave it at that. Okay, what we got here, power to the motherboard, power to the processor, and a bunch of SATA connections. Funny enough, on this end, you see that this also plugs into the motherboard. It looks like it's stealing power from the motherboard to give to the SATA connections. That's okay. We'll find out where these all go. So we have motherboard connection, looks like it's right here. We have, sorry, that's the processor. This is the motherboard, goes to the back here. And we have this thingy that's stealing power from the motherboard. We gotta give power to the SATA hard drive. You know what? We're gonna start with SATA power for the CD drive up here. DVD drive power is not easy to deal with, let me tell you. Start getting everything jammed in here. There we go. Power in. Hard drive power in. Let's leave the rest of this cord out of the way. And now we gotta connect hard drive and CD or SATA cables. One. Let's go in the back here. See if I can read what numbers they are. Get my
cell phone as a flash, or as a flashlight here.
They are numbered. They should be anyways. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I see SATA 2. I believe that's SATA 1. So we gotta do here and here. So hard drive first would be fine. Let's see if my little fingers can fit in there to get it. Boom, one done. Yeah, that's gonna stick up way too much. We're gonna put this over on the DVD drive. And we'll flip that too. Flip this too. There we go. For the hard drive, we got right here to number 1. And we put the top on it. Now all that's left is testing to make sure everything works, because you never know until you press that power button. So we're going to press the power button. As you see it's lit up, we got power. We're going to watch the screen and hope the BIOS comes up. And it does. Keyboard not found, system fan failure. I did forget to plug in the fan. We're going to make up for that in a second here. Okay, so we were missing the system fan right here. I forgot to plug it in. This is the cable for it. This goes right by the cable, just straight down here. Not too difficult, and that's all there is to it. Okay, we are restarting it again here. No post beeps, that's good of course. See the Lenovo setup there. Not sure what is on here at the moment, the hard drive. I would like to put Windows XP on here, make this a Windows XP machine. It'd be very fast for a Windows XP machine. Be a little slow for something like Vista, or I mean I just wouldn't want to put Vista on there. 7 would be okay, but it'd be on the lower end. Moving all the way up to 10 it can run it, but still I think XP's classical XP build would be good for this, unless you really wanted to play it online and everything, need the security, then you want to stay with something that's up to date like Windows 10. Oh, it's definitely up. There we go. So, looks good.
This was a custom build computer that I made for a customer, and if you want, I can make custom build computers for you. These are computers that are cheap, or parts that I have laying around, or parts I can go and find, top of the line, older. XP era, Windows 98 era, DOS era. We can do whatever type of computer that you're looking for. Get it restored and made for you, or even do a live build on camera for you if you want. If this is something you're interested in, please send me an email at thatmat85@gmail.com or message me at Twitter at thatmat85. This first video that I've done here was a lot of fun putting together and editing. It was also a lot of an experiment in seeing what will work, what mics will work, what kind of effects I need to put in here, what kind of transitions I want to use, how long I want to make them, and everything like that. That being said, it's definitely not going to be my finished work. As I keep putting out videos, they will be better and better made, and I'll even have better and better equipment as we go along. Working with what I got is a big part of doing the videos right now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll look at my other videos as they come up. Pay attention to my Twitter website for any scheduled live builds. Thank you.